well, we've seen what has happened so far in terms of, trying to, in fact, we've been told that the Constitution does enthrone, what was that, federal character. That the Constitution ensures that, and that there's no way you can actually circumvent that, especially, I think it's very clear in terms of ministerial appointments. And then some people will tell you very clearly, too, that there is nowhere in this country that doesn't have somebody who is capable.
Precisely.
All you have to do is look.
Thank you.
But the thing is, some people are saying it's taking too long.
Well, okay, it has to take so long because if a country has existed for how long? 55, 60 years, and what you are producing today are people who are already smeared, and you don't need them to be on the seat, so you need to look further.
Are we looking for saints?
We're not looking for saints. We're looking for people who have a track record, that they have been somewhere before, and they have a track record, and it is these same people we want to put there.
So how come we're just doing that now? I mean, when somebody decides that they want to run for office, you should have a team behind you, an idea of a team.
That's very true, but you will not be able to know everybody who is going to be part of the team that you're going to work with. You will need suggestions from people. But if people keep giving you names of people who, after check, they still have some baggage that they're carrying along with them that won't fit into your dream, then you need to look further. I don't blame the president for saying that he's going to wait till September.
We have that at the national level, we've been told we're going to have to wait till September. Even in the states, it was saying that we have to wait perhaps even longer.
Even states that are coming back for the second term.
So what exactly is that about?
So it means there must be something that is going on. Maybe there is a policy that is giving that kind of direction to governments throughout the country. Because, look, the amount of graft that is being revealed is enough concern for anybody.
No, but some people will say, well, at the presidency, that's what they're thinking is at the moment. But those states who their governors are returning for a second term, sacking everybody, and they are waiting for who knows what before they appoint their own commissioners. People will say, look, this is just sheer hypocrisy. You've appointed people from the onset last time. So is it because the presidency says, or the president says, look, September is his own time, he has his own methodology and what he's working on, then the other states are now somewhat looking as though beholding to him. So if he appoints, we appoint.
I won't believe that it is a common trend in all the states.
Many of them are doing
in quite a few of them, they have appointed commissioners, they have got people who are working already. But don't forget, government is not run only by commissioners. In fact, the chief accounting officer of any ministry is the permanent secretary. He is the person who runs the ministry per se. The minister is only a coordinating person between the ministry and the presidency.
Yeah, but we all know that.
So the government of today being run by permanent secretaries, whether in the state or at the federal level, nothing is amiss.
But while that may be the case, we also need to know that realistically, the way it is now, there are some things, because people have said, look, we don't have ministers yet who they think will come supervising or get to almost every nook and cranny, depending on who they are. Many people are sneaking in there, doing certain things, thinking, let me do this now before ministers come in. There are certain people who are going, and so many things going on now that no one seems to be paying attention to. Even the it's a super perm sex now.
I agree with you. And I want to believe that the process of change that we're looking for will come, but will not come running. It would come slowly. And the slow pace at which the president is moving is because here is someone who's been on that seat before, who has an experience of how to be the head of state, who perhaps is seeing something that a lot of us are not seeing out here, and who is not able to vocalize that. But he knows that he has a duty to protect the nation from the things that he's seeing, and he needs to make the necessary moves, the right moves, but he will not be able to do that in a hurry. So he's taking a cautious step in doing a number of things. And I think one of the areas where he's not too comfortable is to bring in appointees at this point who perhaps he will not be able to supervise because there's so much work to be done, but he wants to ensure that the permanent secretaries or the MDAs are already in perspective of what he wants them to do before he appoints the ministers, so that those are the people who are likely to get proper schooling from him when he's set out to run.
The way it is now is that by September, there will be a lot of scrutiny on those who will eventually be appointed, right? From the Senate to the Court of Public Opinion. They'll look at who is he, where is he from, what percentage of people are appointed from certain areas, what track record do they have, are they technocrats, private sector, politicians, who are they beholden to? So there'll be a lot of focus and scrutiny. So at the end of the day, you think it's worth it?
To a large extent, with the rot that we have on ground, I think it's worth every bit of it. Every bit of it. Because if it is true that some minister has been selling crude oil of Nigeria 250,000 barrels a day in the last 3 years, we need to know who are these people. We need to be able to find out, will they repeat the same thing when they get there?
But you know how these things work, because, yeah, people could say lots of things, but at the end of the day, it's going to be based on what they're able to present before, we say, the courts or tribunals to get them guilty or not. So a lot of things may go on in the court of public opinion, but if they can't justify and prove those things, we can't say those people are guilty.
Essentially, the point that I made at the beginning, I said, and I like the angle that one Bola Ojo or Biodun Ojo put in the newspaper the other day. He likened what we're having today as the Goliath and David, the biblical Goliath and David. He's seen corruption as the Goliath, and he's seen President Muhammadu Buhari as the David. But the question he's asking, will this David be able to overcome this Goliath with only 5 pieces of stone?
Where does that leave the... Sorry, conclude the thought on that.
So, he's saying, if we look at the realistic nature of what we have on ground, it is not only David that is going to have to fight this Goliath. The fight of corruption starts from reorientation of the Nigerian society, repositioning our value system, ensuring that we go back to the basics and understand that if you're stealing from Nigeria, you're stealing from yourself, you're depriving your children and the future of their children.
Would that be assuming that Nigeria will do for them what they've been doing for themselves, being their own government?
Perhaps to a large extent, you're looking at a situation where you are calling for a revolution of some sort. Because, look, every aspect of governance is corrupt. Every aspect. You go into the judiciary, there's corruption. You go into the legislative, there's corruption. You go into the executive arm of government, there's corruption.
Let's go to the judiciary, because the thing is, all of this talk about someone who's said to be guilty, who has a lot of this, what about administration of justice? If it's going to take you 3 years or 4 to convict some people, in some cases, how many years now? 10,
Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
So all of those zeal, drive, verve, wouldn't it be lost?
Completely lost. And to that extent, that is why I say we need to restructure this society. We need to do surgical operation to be able to cut off the parts that are no good, and perhaps have some constitutional amendments that will allow for these changes to proceed. Because if we don't do that, we cannot continue business as usual the way we are today.
Many thanks for your thought, Dr. Adetukumba Adedeji of the Professionals for Change, for talking to us today on the program. Thank you.